It's information that has been passed down from third grader to third grader for 60 years or whatever, and there's just as many doctors who are sex negative, who are judgmental, in that doctors look for a diagnosis.
People go to the doctor and they ask questions, and they're totally uncomfortable, especially if they are a lesbian or gay. And even if the doctor isn't going to say you're sick and wrong, they're thinking it, and that's a part of society to think if you have a sex life, if you're a woman, I think, like any sex life, that you're somehow deviant.
It's difficult to find people with the sort of information that I have who are willing to talk about it the way I do. One of the things that we do is that we have a bulletin board that's got a whole bunch of resources on it. The fact of the matter is a lot of people have been told that they are substandard in some way. And we work really hard to make people understand that whatever they want is the right thing for them to want.
I think probably one of the best things early on was watching a customer who probably weighs about 300 pounds. This woman wanted a garter belt, and so we arranged that. And she put this garter belt on, and it was too big for her. And the fact that it was too big for her sent her off into some place where she just sat down on the couch and began to cry. And it was all about having something sexy on her and having it be too big. And then we had another one that fit her, and then she was very joyous and sort of jumped around and danced.
My first week here, this woman came in who was definitely in her late 50s, definitely. She was my mom's age. And her husband was out of town, and she was buying she was going to be expressing for the first time her S&M leanings. She'd been discussing with him on the phone while he was out of town. She only had the nerve to bring it up to her husband for the first time while he's 2,000 miles away on the phone. And here's this woman who, for the first, the kids are gone, the kids are grown, and now she's finally expressing who she is sexually. She's finally discovering who she is sexually. And it was a privilege. It was a privilege to be there. I felt honored.
I had a customer last month, I think it was, that she really wanted to get smaller, and she really wasn't. And there was health involved with it, and there was a relationship involved in it, and there was money involved with it. And there was just a whole sense of failure and sadness with her, and I really didn't know what to say. I didn't have anything I could think of to say to make her feel better. And somehow these clothes had sort of personified her hopes. This was for a job interview, this one particular outfit. This was a fabulous linen dress for this wedding that never happened. It was intense.
Dealing with people with real sexual dysfunctions can be tricky, because on the one hand, I want to be very positive about what they can do. On the other hand, I want them to have good, realistic expectations for themselves and for partners' responses. For example, a woman who is pre-orgasmic, who has never had an orgasm, she lost her last boyfriend over the fact that she couldn't come. He felt like less of a man, and she felt guilty for not giving him the response he desired from her. And so she was so desperate to become orgasmic that she was keeping herself from relaxing at all. And it had reached the point in her where it wasn't just difficulty in being stimulated to orgasm, it was low self-esteem, it was body image, it was the fact that she'd never had a partner that was okay with her version of sexuality as it stands now. And she needed a lot more help than I could give her. She needed to go to someone that would help her deal with the deeper issues going on there. And I just encouraged her, I let her know what her options were. and encouraged her to follow up on some.
I had 2 customers come in, and they were twins. I thought they were sisters. They looked really identical, except one was thin and one was fat. And you could feel there was such sadness. They came in with this really low energy, what should have been a really good experience. Aha, we found your store, we're so excited, which they were saying, but with no lilt in their voice. They were just saying, oh, we've heard about you, we're here, we're going to do shopping. The thin woman was, pretty uptight and prim, and she was, before I knew their story, I could see that she was there to okay the clothes that the fat one was going to try on. Well, the fat one was shameful. She's here in the fat store, and I said, boy, you look alike. Are you guys sisters? And they said, yes, we're twins. But there was just such intense shame with this. Yes, can you believe it? Can you look at our bodies? So it was very charged from the beginning. So the fat one would go into the dressing room, and she would try stuff on and come out for the approval of the thin one, who would go, nope, too tight, nope, too short, nope, and she would go, you're right, and she'd go back. And it was very hard to watch. And I don't say stuff unless I find a way to say it without... I try to find the right moment to say something, otherwise they'll just run out of the store. And so the fatter sister said, what do you think about how this dress looks on me? So I said, well, are you asking me really? And she said, yeah. So I said, well, you look fabulous. You look fabulous. You have beautiful legs. You're wearing this great little black dancing dress. And I say to the thin sister, you're making her feel bad. You're not letting her have any fun. You're judging her way too hard. This woman looks great in this dress. So let's just put you on the couch and you just stay there for a while. And she was shocked. And I knew I was kind of overstepping boundaries, but it was just, they asked. And I, later apologized in a way. I mean, I said, this is what we do at Venus. We try to raise self-esteem, we try to make you feel good. Well, she ended up buying the dress, but in a bigger size. She tried on a smaller size, and she looked fabulous in this dress, but she just wasn't ready to do that. So she bought the larger one because it would cover stuff up more, and she'd feel safer. But I know she'll be back without her sister, maybe for a little, but we can't do it all at once. Some women are so full of wonderful self-esteem. They walk in, they go, well, it's about time. Bring me this, this, and this. And they wear things, and they just are like peacocks, and it's wonderful. And those women have done a lot of work. And those women don't need me except to buy clothes. And then then Venus is about clothes. But I see our job more as being about getting women to that place. And strut your stuff. Always strut your stuff.
Is a single question: at which trade do